ISO 14001 is the world's most widely used environmental management standard. More than 600,000 organizations across over 180 countries use it to manage their environmental impacts in a structured way. In the next 10 minutes, we will look together at what the standard covers, how it is structured, and how certification works in practice. Let us start with the basic question. What is ISO 14001? At its core, it is an international standard for environmental management systems. An organization, whether a sole trader or a multinational, describes how it identifies, evaluates, controls, and improves its interactions with the environment. One important point. ISO 14001 is voluntary. It does not prescribe fixed key performance indicators, and it does not replace environmental laws. What it provides is a proven framework that the organization fills with content suited to its sector, size, and risks. That brings us to the heart of the standard, the PDCA cycle. PDCA stands for Plan, Do, Check, Act. In the plan step, we identify significant environmental aspects, review legal requirements, evaluate risks and opportunities, and set measurable environmental objectives. In the do step, we implement actions, clarify responsibilities, and embed competence and communication. In the check step, we monitor performance, run internal audits, and capture deviations. In the act step, top management reviews the results, adjusts actions, and evolves the system. The decisive point is this: the cycle does not run once, it repeats continuously. That structured repetition is exactly what separates a real environmental management system from a handful of well-meant intentions. So how exactly is ISO 14001 structured? The standard follows the harmonized structure, the same architecture used by ISO 9001, ISO 45001, and ISO 50001. It is organized into clauses 4 through 10. Clause 4 describes the context of the organization, the internal and external issues that affect environmental performance. Clause 5 addresses the responsibility of top management, because environmental management is a leadership topic. Clause 6 covers planning, with environmental aspects, legal requirements, risks and opportunities, and concrete environmental objectives. Clause 7 covers support, including resources, competence, awareness, communication, and documented information. Clause 8 moves into operation, with operational control and emergency preparedness. Clause 9 is performance evaluation, with monitoring, internal audits, and management review. Clause 10 finally covers improvement, with nonconformities, corrective actions, and continual improvement. Anyone familiar with ISO 9001 finds their way around immediately. Different content, the same logic. Let us now look at the certification process. ISO 14001 certification follows a clearly structured path. We typically start with a gap analysis. Where does the organization stand today? Which requirements are already met? Where are the gaps? Then the organization builds the system. Environmental aspects are captured, processes documented, responsibilities defined. Before the external audit, we test the system through internal audits and make initial decisions in the management review. Then the accredited certification body comes in. In the Stage 1 audit, it reviews the documentation and readiness. In the Stage 2 audit, it audits the operational implementation on site. After a successful audit, the certificate is issued for 3 years. Annual surveillance audits keep the system alive, and recertification follows after 3 years. One important distinction: self-declaration builds a system. Certification builds trust. Supply chains and regulators trust an accredited confirmation far more than a self-statement. To finish, a look at how ISO 14001 sits alongside other standards, plus a brief outlook on ISO 14001 2026. ISO 14001 rarely works alone. It integrates particularly well with ISO 9001 for quality, ISO 45001 for occupational health and safety, and ISO 50001 for energy. The same logic, many shared processes, much less duplicate effort. EMAS, the EU Environmental Management Scheme, goes beyond ISO 14001, but uses it as the entry door. In April 2026, a new edition was published. The most important changes, climate and biodiversity, are now explicitly part of the context. A new clause covers planning of changes. The wording for outsourced processes is broadened, and Annex A is significantly expanded. Organizations currently working with the 2015 edition will likely have around 3 years to transition. If you are introducing ISO 14001 or planning the transition to the 2026 edition, We at Sternberg Consulting support you pragmatically, from gap analysis through environmental management system buildup to audit preparation. On sternbergconsulting.com under contact, you will find a direct way to start a first conversation.